let's talk about school. We're about to take a core belief you probably hold about education and just completely tear it down. We're going to look at the evidence that the whole system, well, it wasn't really built for your success, but for something else entirely.
So let's just start with this. It's going to sound a little weird at first, but just stick with me here. School didn't fail you.
Actually, you could argue that for well over 100 years, it's been doing its job with terrifying precision.
And that's where all the frustration comes from, right? The feeling that something's wrong. It's because most of us never really understood what the job of school was in the first place. I mean, just look at the real-world results. If the goal was to create millions of happy, financially stable adults who felt like they had a purpose, wouldn't things look different? Instead, what do we see? People hate their jobs, everyone's drowning in debt, and so many of us feel completely lost. And here's the kicker. That's not a bug in the system. It's the feature.
Okay, to really get this, we have to look at the original blueprints. We need to go way back to when this whole thing was designed.
Look at this comparison. It's kind of shocking, right? Our modern school system was literally born during the Industrial Revolution. Factories back then needed a brand new type of person, someone who was always on time, followed orders without question, and could handle doing the same boring thing over and over again. So a system was built to create them. You've got bells telling you when to move, kids sitting in neat little rows, just like an assembly line, everyone doing the same standardized task. The whole thing was a training camp for the industrial workforce.
So let's be really clear about this. The point was never to make you a creative genius or a critical thinker. The point was to make you a nice, predictable cog that would fit right into the big economic machine.
But hey, it's not just about the bells and the rows. What the system decides to teach, and maybe more importantly, what it decides not to teach, tells you everything you need to know.
I mean, just look at this list. Seriously, these are the skills that pretty much define whether you succeed or fail as an adult. How money actually works, how to deal with taxes and debt, how to negotiate for what you're worth, how to build something for yourself, how to manage your own emotions so you don't burn out. The fact that these are missing, it's not a small oversight. It's a massive, gaping hole in our education.
And you have to understand this is not an accident. It's a choice. Why would a system designed to create obedient workers ever teach you how to be financially independent? It wouldn't. It has zero incentive to do that.
And that brings us to what the system actually values. What gets you a gold star in class versus what actually makes you successful in the real world.
Think about it. In school, who's the good student? It's the kid who's quiet, follows the rules perfectly, and never questions anything. But out here, in the real world, who changes things? It's the disruptor, the innovator, the person who constantly asks why and challenges how things are done. The very things that get you labeled a problem in school are the exact same things that lead to breakthroughs in real life.
Now, it's really easy to hear all this and get defensive of teachers. And look, we should. Most teachers are amazing people who are trying their absolute best. But they're stuck. They're working inside this rigid, outdated system that they didn't create, and they're being judged on standardized test scores instead of genuine learning. They're good people forced to manage a broken design. And because of that broken design, the advice we all got from our parents, study hard, get a degree, and you'll be set for life, it just doesn't hold up anymore. The data is clear. A degree doesn't guarantee a good job, student debt is completely out of control, and most of the valuable skills you need for a career, you learn them somewhere else. That promise is broken.
So what happens after 12+ years of this? What's the final product that walks across the graduation stage? What kind of mindset has been baked into us?
Well, it creates adults who are conditioned to just wait for someone to tell them what to do. It teaches us to be absolutely terrified of making mistakes, because every mistake comes with a big red X. We learn to always ask for permission before we try anything new. And maybe the worst part? We start to believe that a grade on a piece of paper actually measures how smart we are, that having a diploma is the same thing as being competent. And that's exactly why so many of us feel so totally lost after we graduate. You didn't lose your way. The truth is, you were never taught how to build your own compass to begin with. You were just given a map to a factory that doesn't really exist anymore.
But look, understanding all this isn't about blaming people or feeling hopeless. Not at all. It's about finally understanding the rules of the game so you can stop playing it and start creating your own. This is where your real education finally begins.
The system's purpose was never your personal happiness. It was about societal stability. It valued predictability way more than it valued your potential. And once you really truly get that, all the self-blame and confusion can finally start to go away.
Your real life, your real education, it all starts the moment you stop asking that one question school drilled into your head for over a decade. What do I need to do to pass the test?
And instead, you start asking the only question that actually matters for the rest of your life. What do I actually need to learn to survive out here, to adapt to a changing world, and to win at my own game?
So yeah, school didn't fail you. It did its job. It's finished. The final bell has rung. And what you decide to build from here on out, well, that's entirely on you.